fasting, but your morning glucose is higher. Here's why. You're eating clean, rested all night, and still the numbers climb. What's going on here? Well, your body has its own early morning routine. It's called the dawn phenomenon, where hormones like cortisol kick in, telling your liver to release extra glucose. Think of it this way. While you're asleep, your body's night crew is wrapping up, and just before you wake, cortisol kicks in, flipping the start switch. And guess what? Your liver's sugar warehouse doors swing open, but that's not failure, just your biology doing its thing. The trick is knowing how to work with it, not against it. But here's the part nobody talks about, okay? So you've probably heard that longer fasting always lowers insulin and fixes blood sugar, right? But what if that's not entirely true for everyone? Here's the twist. For some people, extending that fasting window cranks up stress hormones like cortisol. Now, when this happens, your liver thinks there's an emergency and releases more glucose, like dumping fuel on a fire. Imagine it like a fire alarm that just won't stop, sounding off and dumping glucose. Let's think of a typical morning ritual. You skip breakfast, maybe grab a coffee to keep going. By lunch, you're shaky, wired, and battling cravings. Sound familiar? Then mid-afternoon, you're reaching for that snack, already spiraling. The trap most people fall into is thinking this is a sign of failure. Instead, it's your body's stress response in play. But it isn't all bad news. There's a way to work with your body's rhythms. So what's actually happening when you wake up with high blood sugar despite fasting? It all starts with a hormone called cortisol. Think of it as a morning messenger. Cortisol tells your liver, which is like a sugar warehouse, to release glucose into your bloodstream. This is your body's way of preparing you to wake and work. And guess what? And this glucose release can make it look like you're insulin resistant. But here's the twist. It's about the glucose coming out, not just what you're eating. Now, who's more likely to ride this morning sugar roller coaster? If you're dealing with poor sleep or high stress, your body might release more cortisol. Plus, late-night workouts or eating too little protein can also play a role. A study suggests that these factors can turbocharge your liver's glucose release, leading to higher morning numbers. So if you've been hitting the gym late or cutting calories aggressively, it may be contributing to the issue. Think of hormones like postmen delivering letters. Cortisol delivers a release fuel letter, filling your blood sugar tank with glucose. But the good news is you can adapt your habits to manage this. Because here's the part nobody talks about. Now that we understand why morning glucose spikes happen, let's see how we can tweak our mornings to avoid the glucose trap. If you often feel like your energy crashes, it might be time to break your fast earlier. Here's the trick. Start with a breakfast anchored in protein and fiber. Think eggs with spinach or Greek yogurt with some berries. Why? It gives your body stable energy, avoiding those nasty glucose swings. But if fasting feels good for you, there's still a catch. Watch out for that morning coffee on an empty stomach. Stick with water and electrolytes first. When you do have coffee, pair it with some protein to keep things balanced. And here's where the magic of muscles comes in. A simple 10 to 15 minute walk after eating can act like a sponge, helping your body manage glucose better. Short strength training sessions. They're even better over time. Want to know how well you're doing? Track how you feel, and if you have a glucose monitor, compare your mornings over a week. It's about adjusting, not guessing. Next, we'll talk about what's often overlooked in this whole puzzle. Now that we've explored ways to personalize your morning routine, let's wrap things up. Morning glucose. It's not just about food. Hormones play a big role too. Your goal? It's not about achieving perfect fasting. It's about stable energy, fewer cravings, and better lab results over time. Imagine a checklist: sleep, managing stress, consuming caffeine wisely, choosing a protein-packed first meal, and going for a post-meal walk. Each checked box can help reduce inflammation and stabilize your energy levels. But if you're dealing with diabetes, on medication, pregnant, or have a history of eating disorders, make sure to get professional guidance before changing your habits. And here's a quick summation. Consider hormones, personalize fasting, and track changes without obsessing. Now it's your turn. Comment, fasting, and share your morning routine. I'd love to suggest a few tweaks. Just remember, this is educational content. Consult your doctor for personal advice.